So, I'm back, alive. Do you remember the ending of the last video? Well, I did it. Before anything else, let me briefly explain the rules of this challenge. You have to create a comic or manga. Call it what you like. 12 pages long in half a day. 12 hours. Yes, it's a bit crazy to write the story, plan it and draw it all in 12 hours. But for some reason, my brainless head decided that wasn't enough. So I also added the rule of generating 5 random words that serve as concepts, which must be relevant to the comic. The type of words are genre of the comic, setting, time period, adjective, verb, and a complete random word. And all of these must be done within those 12 hours, which have to be consecutive. That means if you start at 11 am, you finish at 11 pm, and the clock doesn't stop. For example, if you're hungry and take a break to eat, the timer keeps running. This forces you to manage your time well. So those are the rules. Now that that's clear, let's begin. First thing I did was to get the random concept words. So I did what's now an habit. I messaged my friend. Asked her to say the first thing that came to her mind and I start asking. For the genre, she said horror. For the setting, she said ancient Greece. For the adjective, she said cold. For the verb, she said fly. And finally, for the completely random word, she said bubble. Alright, so that meant I had to make a 12-page comic in 12 consecutive hours using these words. Got it? Perfect. Now, the fun begins. At 10 am, with my mind completely blank, I started writing. The writing phase is simple. Just write non-stop, and whatever comes out is what you use. There is no time to edit or change things. I didn't struggle with this part since I'm a dungeon master in D&D, and quickly improvising stories is kind of my thing. I wrote the story in Spanish since it's easier for me that way. The draft was short since I only need to solidify the general idea. No dialogue or panel planning. All of that would come after the writing phase. With the narrative done by 10:22 am, it was time for the next step, sketching the panels. This phase is the most important because here you translate the written idea into visuals, add the dialogue, and manage the composition. I put all the pages into a single layer so I could see everything at once and work faster. Then I started sketching, letting my brain flow and trying to stay relaxed. Stress would only block my ideas. Around this time, my friend joined me on Discord and kept me company for a good while. Now and then I explained to her what ideas I had and even shared different composition techniques I was using. In a way, this helped me. Sure, it made me lose some time, but for my mental health, it was the best thing I could do. Taking those brief moments to chat and rest helped me in the long run. I'm really happy with some parts of this phase, but I think my favorite was the monster design. It came out pretty creepy, and even though it was just an initial sketch, it was surprisingly detailed, which helped a lot later, even though I didn't realize it at the time. This sketching and composition phase wasn't too challenging, though I did have a few moments where I felt stuck, but they were brief. I finished this stage at 1:57 p.m. and mentally prepared myself for the hardest part of the challenge, the refinement phase. This is where everything had to be finalized, and every mistake would be very noticeable, both physically and mentally. But before that, I had to spend some time separating the pages, enlarging them, and organizing everything into folders. Yes, I wasted 21 minutes on this, so it was now 2:18 p.m. Not wanting to lose more time, I got straight to work. In the sketching phase, the elements weren't very clear, but now I started defining them better. The horror theme was the most obvious, along with the ancient Greece setting represented by the characters toga and the city. For example, the word cold became more prominent here, with the snow being depicted more clearly. The same goes for bubble, as it became more understandable with the improved drawing and details. On the first page, I tried doing a more defined sketch and then line art, but I realized that would take too long and be counterproductive. So I decided to jump straight into a line art. Around the second or third page, my friend had to leave, so I was left alone to face the challenge. And what a challenge it was, because I started to feel nature calling. I had to think strategically. Going to the bathroom meant risking taking too long or not being able to finish in one go, forcing me to stop again later. So, I came up with a plan. Take a short break, eat something and drink coffee. I don't usually drink coffee, but I know it has a laxative effect. Plus, the caffeine boost would give me more energy to make up for those. Plus, the caffeine boost would give me more energy to make up for lost time. So, so, I rushed to the kitchen, made a quick cup of coffee, ate whatever I could find, and downed the dense black coffee. And downed the dense black coffee like a shot. No sugar, no milk. A tear rolled down my cheek from how bad it tasted, and because it burned my throat a bit. And I went back to work. It wasn't long before nature took its course. I rushed to the bathroom and everything went smoothly. I made sure to clean up thoroughly, hygiene first, and got back to work. At this point though, I had lost a lot of time. I did some quick math and realized I need to finish 2 pages per hour to complete the challenge. So I kicked into turbo mode and started drawing as fast as I could. At first it was tough, but after finishing a couple of pages, I found a rhythm and started completing 1 page every 25 minutes. That gave me small breaks to stretch, grab snacks, or rest my arms. After a while in turbo mode, with my neck practically broken, my shoulder nearly injured, and my wrist definitely injured, and a small bowl of boiled chickpeas for food, which I had time to grab quickly, my friend rejoined the call to give me support and company. From here on, things didn't get better. I had exhausted every possible sitting position, my back hurt, and one of my legs had lost circulation. The leg even cramped up. Yes, I got a leg cramp in the middle of the challenge. Instinctively, I grabbed my leg and tried to stretch it, panicking a bit. Meanwhile, my friend was on the call, trying to calm me down and help however she could. It was a rough and pathetic moment, and the time I had gained was lost because of the cramp. So I was racing against the clock again. Without hesitation, I got back to work, and two things saved me. One, deciding to use a lot of black areas and painting them, essentially drawing in negative space, which saved time. And two, the detailed monster sketch. Since it was so well done, all I had to do was clean it up with no need to create or refine anything. I could even copy and pasted it without issue. You've probably noticed I copied and pasted several elements through the comic. Well, when you're short on time, you can afford to be picky. Despite all the setbacks, I finished the comic before the 12-hour mark. I even went back to earlier pages where I didn't add snow, thinking I wouldn't have time, and fixed them. I finished everything at 9:30 p.m. sharp. I started at 10 a.m. and finished at 9:30 p.m. I had half an hour to spare, which I'm very proud of. My friend was super happy and congratulated me, and I joyfully stretched as much as I could. Right after stretching and having a calm dinner, I started writing a D&D session. But that's another story. Here are the 12 pages in order. Honestly, I'm very happy with this challenge. The satisfaction of finishing was incredible, and even though the drawings aren't great, I'm quite pleased with how it turned out. I'm not sure if I will do any other challenge like this anytime soon. But what I do know is that the next video I make will be something much more relaxed. If you have any challenges in mind that you like to see me try, let me know in the comments. I can't promise I'll do them, but I will definitely note them down and keep them in mind. Anyway, sending hugs to everyone, and I hope you like it. Bye!